See, it says live up in the corner. So connecting to Facebook. Goodness. I am not. Let me check. Let me see if I can check and see if we are live. Yep. Okay, it looks like we're live this morning. Can you all hear me? Let's see. I hope you can hear me. And check on my phone. I can see myself on Facebook, but I can't hear anything. So if anyone happens to be there on Facebook, if you happen to be tuned in, if you can let me know if you can hear me or not, that would be super awesome. And I do not know where Kate is this morning. I know we texted or PM'd yesterday that today was going to be our first show for the new year and we were going to talk about goals, but I don't know where she is today. So it might just be me. And I don't even on the Facebook app here seeing myself. This is just crazy. Well, you know what? Anyway, I'm going to go for it. So good morning and welcome to 2019. I hope that you had great happy holidays and I hope that you had your year, I hope is really off to a great start. I mean, I love a new year, like a fresh book almost. I mean, every day is kind of a fresh new slate, but there's just something fresh and exciting about the new year. And I hope you enjoyed my post below about cleaning out 2018 and saying goodbye to 2018, but saying goodbye graciously with lots of gratitude for all that 2018 brought you. And when you're cleaning out papers or cleaning out people or cleaning out things, you know, to give them just a moment of thanks for everything that they did for you and for the meaning they brought to your life and for the purpose that they had in your life. So great book called The Magic of Tidying Up. You can purchase that on Netflix, one of my favorites. And also there's a great Netflix show called Tidy Up, I think it's just, and it's by, the Netflix show is by the author. So today I want to talk a little bit about goal setting. I love goals and I want to talk a little bit about some unique ways to set goals. Obviously, we all know about looking at the end. You start with the end and you start with what you want to accomplish. But when you're sitting down to set your goals, it's really important that you have all your numbers from this year. And in your POS systems, there's such a plethora of numbers that you can take a look at. Because if you want to even like double your sales, which is a hefty goal, if you expanded your store in any way, you might need to double your goal from last year because of the new expansion that you're taking in. But doubling your goal, when you take a look at your existing numbers that you did in 2018, you might find that it's not as hard as you think it is, because you might not actually be that far off. So for example, if you look at what your average transaction is, your dollar amount and your units per transaction, sometimes you can actually get to your goal by just making that a little bit higher. So if let's just say your average transaction is $100, the difference that you can achieve, even adding an extra $50 on top of that, is pretty amazing and pretty impactful. The other thing is to set that goal in mind and then take a step back and look at what else do you need to do to achieve that. For example, when you know your numbers and you take a look at how many customers you sold to, not necessarily how many transactions you made last year, but that also is an important number, but how many customers you sold to.
that's going to give you an idea of, hey, we sold to 25,000 customers last year and we made this much money selling to 25,000 customers. So if you figure then the average per customer, what each customer purchased last year, you can easily figure out we need X more customers this year to sell to in order to reach our goal. And you can also then back that into, okay, if we have 8,000 followers on our Facebook page or 10,000 followers on our Facebook page right now, and we have 12,000 in our Facebook group, how many more do we need to add to our Facebook page and to our Facebook group in order to increase our Facebook sales if you do sales and live Facebook sales? So knowing your numbers from 2018 can really, really help you when you are looking at setting your goals for 2019. And what you will find out is that hitting big, lofty goals is really not that far off. It's not that difficult when you take a look at, oh, wait a minute. We did this and this and this. We have this many customers, this many transactions. We have this many in our Facebook group. When you take a look at what you've done in 2018, it's really not that far off on what you need to then build on for 2019. But it's really important to know where you're going, because if you are headed, you're driving across country, you know how to get there, you know where you're going, you have a map, and your map is like, we're going to take this road and we're going to turn left here and we're going to turn right here, and oh, we hit a detour, but it's okay because we're going to follow this detour around, because sometimes you do hit detours in your business, and sometimes they're great detours. Sometimes you get off and you do a detour and you're like, oh my gosh. What I consider to be a detour in goal setting can be those untried projects. So let's say you have this great idea of, you're like, I've been really wanting to launch a pop-up store, or I've been really wanting to do some trade shows, or I've been really wanting to do a billboard this year, or host a really big event. So those are what I call untried projects, and those you want to definitely plan for, but you want to kind of keep them a little bit separate. Because you don't know how they're going to turn out. You've never done them before. So that to me is like what I call gravy money. So when you have these projects on the side, plan for them and say, we want to do this event and we want to generate X amount of dollars from this event, but make sure that you also plan a little bit more generously when you're taking that event and putting it into your big overall goal, because you really don't know what's going to happen. It could be huge. And if it is huge, great, then you can make it part of a regular ongoing thing. But if it's not great, or you need to learn how to tweak it, things like that, you want to make sure that you didn't have a lot riding on that particular untried thing, and then it didn't quite turn out and contribute to your goal as had thought it would. The other thing about goal setting is that I really love to get goals met by November. And the reason is, imagine if you got your annual goal hit by November. Oh, I think Kate is joining us now. Let's see here. Kate Holmes, welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good, good. Welcome. Welcome. And so I've just been kind of going through the goal setting, and I was just going to say here that the other thing is, I really love to help people get their goals hit by November, so that going into December, it's not the stress and the strain of, oh my gosh, we have to, do a quarter or a third of our income in Christmas time. Like, what if Christmas was your gravy money? What if you actually enjoyed Christmas as a retailer because you had your goals met and it was fun? There's a concept, enjoying Christmas as a retailer. But welcome, Kate. Share a little bit about what how was your New Year, first of all? How was your New Year?
My New Year's going along fine so far. How's yours doing?
It
I
is.
have some goals set. Excuse me. I have some goals set for this year. Um, I don't really want to announce them now because they're kind of personal, but when I think of goal setting, I think of what is inhibiting people from doing that. Did you get a chance to talk about that today?
Haven't talked about that yet, so bring it on. It's a great topic in goal setting.
There's something about the fear of the past that keeps people from designing their present and manufacturing their future. They're afraid that, they didn't make the rent 2 months out of last year, so they really need to concentrate on profits versus community involvement or whatever it is. But that fear of the past can be holding people back. And I think in January of a new year, it's a good idea to stop and think about what is it that is holding you back? And is it the fear of something that you did in the past that you hope not to do in the future? Forget the mistake and remember the lesson of the past. Forget that you couldn't make the rent. Remember the lesson of how did it feel when it got down to the wire and you had to sneak some of the money out of your consignor account or out of your buy allowance. How did that feel? Remember the feeling, forget the mistake. I think that's an important part of getting rid of fear of the past.
That is. I actually have some training in that area, and a good thing is to feel the feeling of what it would be like to have that thing happen. So you have the fear, you have the feeling of fear, but you don't want to carry that feeling of fear because that is putting a certain vibration out there. So you know what that feels like, and then you want to like feel the opposite of it and feel that excitement and the elation of like, oh my gosh, this thing happened. So I just want to tag that on there, Kate, because I just teach that in my other life when I'm not teaching this. I teach stuff like that. And so I wanted to be able to sneak that in there. So thanks for that opportunity.
Another point, Colleen, that I think it's important to stress is with people is when they are setting goals, for this goal to be specific. You don't want to say something like, I want to make more money. You want to say, I want to have more profit. You want to say, I want to increase every month's income, whatever, but be specific. If you're not specific, how do you know that you're attaining your goal? I mean, you need to be able to attain at least parts of your goal as you go along. You need that pat on the back. You need to not always work from, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. You need to start working from, oh, I'm making it. I'm getting there. This is so exciting. I can almost smell the success of my goal. So to be specific, I would say, for instance, one of the things that many, many people struggle with is keeping up with incoming. So my specific goal, if that were my problem, would be I want to make sure that everything that comes in is out on the sales floor within time. I personally pick the next morning. Other people roll their eyes and say that's impossible, but at least pick a time. Pick 2 days from now. Don't settle for 2 weeks from now. And goodness knows, we know people who are, especially buyout rights, who don't feel any pressure about getting it on the floor, that have months of backlog of things to look at, to price, to prep for the sales floor. So that's an idea, being specific about, I want to get all of last week's items out before the end of this week.
And I'm so glad you brought that up because I want to make that a topic. We're doing all this goal setting with our clients right now, and one of the things that we're looking at is that intake, and taking a look at setting goals for intake. And if you're inundated with intake, are you accepting too much? Are you accepting the wrong things? Do you find that you have a big clearance?
lots of stuff left on clearance. What's your donations? I mean, I tend to feel that donations of unsaleable items are probably a negative. They're probably a negative statistic. So you want to bring that number down, because if you're donating a lot of things, that means they didn't sell and they took up payroll and they took up time on your sales floor. So anyway, we'll make that another topic, but I'm so glad that you brought up that about intake, because I think it is key, and I don't think that people necessarily take a look at that when they're goal setting. So what else have you got?
What else have I got? If you want to do something, if you want to create something new, you got to let go of the old. And again, all of us looking back at our past think, oh, there's something that worked about this system, so I'm going to keep this system. So remember that, if you want to create something new, you got to get rid of whatever it is that you were doing wrong in the past. Don't be afraid to let things go. Don't be afraid to rename your store, to rebrand your store, to choose another tagline, to focus at a different type of social media, to redesign your website, to do that kind of a thing. You've got to create something new if you want something new to come into your life.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you have to make space for it. And I know it might not seem like, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but in this show I've been talking about called Tidy Up, and it's the art of tidying up and the Chinese art of tidying up. And one of the things I learned, and I learned this like a long time ago, but when you want something new to come in your life, it's like you have to get rid of something to make space for it. Like if you have a vase and you want to like replace the vase, you have to move the vase so you can put like something else in the place of the vase. And so I love that. That's so important of, yes, like making room, making space for things in your life. I'm really, I'm sorry, everyone. I know that Kate and I are not appearing side by side today. My apologies for that. I don't know why. It worked yesterday, but it's not working today. So I'm sorry. We're using again, new software called Blue Jeans, and not sure why that's doing that. But anyway, there you go. So you just get to enjoy Kate's beautiful smiling face this morning, and I'm the tiny little bobblehead in the bottom.
Actually, it looks the opposite on my screen, so let's see what's going on here. I'm the tiny little bubble in the bottom.
Oh, you know what I think it's doing, Kate, is I think it's changing us out as we speak. I think that that's what's happening, because I'm looking on Facebook, and I think it's actually changing us out who we speak. Okay, anyway, there we go. What else? Anything else on goal setting to share today?
I want to say one thing, and I want to give one reference. The first thing I want to say is Michelangelo, the incredible sculptor. He was asked, how does he do it? How does he create, something from nothing? And he said, well, I look at the marble, and then I free angel within. Now, isn't that a wonderful way to think of your business? Your business can sometimes seem like a block of marble or a pile of volcano. And how are you going to get out of it? What's there that is going to astonish the world, that's going to make you so proud? How can you see the angel within that block of marble? That's the point that I want to leave people with.
That's a beautiful point. And we should end on that, unless you have anything else. Do you have anything else to another grand finale?
Grand finale. Don't have a grand finale, but I do have a blog post that might help you with this whole concept of setting goals, and it's on the tgtbt.blog. And if you'll use the search engine to search out, what are you struggling with? What are you struggling with? Use that as a search term. You'll come up with a post that I think will be most helpful to you going forward with this whole idea of goal setting, of attaining your goal, of breaking your goal down into usable steps, and of being able to pat yourself on the back along the way.
Awesome. I love it. Because, yes, you have to, appreciate yourself. So So everyone go forth. You've got a little of the numerical side of goal setting from me. We've got a little bit more of the esoteric spiritual goal setting side from Kate this morning. And those are some great tools for setting some awesome goals. Let us know what your goals are. Let us know how we can support you with those goals. Type your comments in. Do you have a really big goal that you need some help with, or you need some ideas? Like, let us know. We can talk about them on our show next week and in the coming weeks, and anything that we can help you with. So we are Kate Holmes and Colleen Lloyd Roberts. Thank you so much for joining us, and you can tune in anytime. You can watch us on demand, or you can tune in on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and we will be here live with Kate and Colleen. So everyone have an awesome day. Do you want to say anything else, Kate?
Happy New Year. I'm Kate Holmes from Too Good to Be Through. Thanks for watching. Now all I have to do is remember how to sign off.
I think I can do that for you this time.